All right, so we got the monitor working. All nice and refinished. This looks really good. I have to say, I've outdone myself. This looks really good. And I couldn't be happier with the results. Really, I couldn't. Let's fire it up. Now, here's the thing. There is a problem with this machine that I cannot nail down. I just can't. I can't nail it down. I have a theory as to what it might be, but I have no hard evidence. I have nothing to go by. It'll randomly start typing characters, seemingly on its own. I've checked cable connections. I've checked the condition of the pins. I've looked for broken solder joints, or especially on the port, on the motherboard, and I found nothing of the sort. I'm probably going to go revisit that again. I'm going to go pull the board out. Sometimes it comes up with a random 301 error with a random hex code at the beginning of it, which indicates a stuck key. Now, it didn't do it this time. It knows better. It knows I'm onto it. But I'm not convinced. So what I'm going to do is we're going to load some of the software on it that I couldn't load on it before, because now it has a color display that, actually can run shit. And I'm going to just see how she goes. I think this is I got Jeopardy, I got Orca. Okay, so all the good stuff right here. So we're going to load all the good stuff on it. And we're going to see if it starts to piss off on me. Oh, before I do that, why don't we do this? Why don't we just shut it back off again? We're going to take some one-shot deoxit D100. This is the... Oh, that fan. Oh, yeah, I know. I got to do the fan again. Just, because... I don't know. Just because. All right. So this is the keyboard I bought for this machine. Those pins are relatively clean. I did clean them, actually. They were pretty dirty. So we're going to take some of our D100. We're going to shoot it in this connector here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Okay. Look at how clean this machine is. So I bought this machine without a keyboard. Pretty much. See, the thing is, the keyboards on these machines have become coveted. The IBM Model F is a cult classic amongst gamers. They're modifying them. They're the kind of keyboard that will survive an apocalypse. And all gamers seem to think that there's going to be an apocalypse that they have to survive. Something in the mentality of a gamer. Whatever. It's not a culture I'm part of. So, they believe they have to have these keyboards that will still allow them to play Call of Grand Theft Duty or some bullshit. After the Ruskies unleash nuclear fission, sorry, all over our American asses. But anyway, so where's my freaking phone stand? Oh, I know where it is. So, as I was saying, I bought it without a keyboard. So I went and I bought a discounted, non-functional Model F off of the Bay of Ease. And, well, the auction was for a keyboard that somebody had obviously taken apart and couldn't put back together again. There is a trick to it. Clearly, the seller didn't know the trick, but I do. So I put it back together got it working pretty good, and here we are. So I'm going to put a copy of Zaxxon on this. Now these discs were known good discs, so let's see if my floppy drive wants to pay attention, wants to make me smile today. All right, so MD Zaxxon. If I see, there it goes. Why did it do that? Why is it RVR caret RVR caret in that order? Now I can stop this nonsense. Look at that. Now what I'm thinking is there is a bad keyboard controller here. You know, the thing is, I'm so tired of dumping money in this machine. I mean, I'm not worried. The monitor came out beautiful. I'm not even mad about that. But it's just everything else in this machine. It's like a boat. It weighs as much as a boat anchor, and it costs as much as a boat. The amount of money I've poured into this thing from when I bought it to now, it's just crazy. It's just, I can never seem to get this thing sorted. All right, let's try it again. MD, there we go. Now, is it percussive? Is it a percussive problem? Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know what? I think so. I think it might just be a bad cable. Now, it's being especially troublesome today. Let's pick up the machine and kind of flex the motherboard a bit. But now it's being a bitch. Let's do a restart on it. So if I flex the whole machine, that might help. Let's see. Okay, so it's not that. Okay. Oh, it just typed the letter R. It's not the cable. Look. The letter R does work on its own accord, so we don't have a stuck key or anything. If I take the keyboard and I just kind of wiggle and flex, drop it, give it a little bumping, grinding and all that. Okay, flex the whole case again. No, nothing like that. Drop it. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that with a hard drive. This is important work. What if I wiggle the cable a bit on the back here? Let's see what happens. Anything weird happens. Anything that shouldn't happen. No, it's not even that. It's like there's God, there's definitely a problem with an IC chip somewhere internally. I can't think of any other explanation. So, all right. It's working fine. I called it Zaxxon RF. We'll remove that. There we go. This is a classic game, by the way. Zaxxon is a classic early PC game. I love this keyboard, though. Now I know why the gamers love them. I mean, it's a nice keyboard to use. Keyboard controls. There one. Oh, I gotta do a thing. Hold on. I'm gonna die. There we go. This is actually one of the very first PC games I ever had. It's a lot of fun. You'll have a lot of fun while you're dying. But what is with this keyboard? So let's escape out of this. No, it just pauses. There's no way out of this game. right. Okay, of course it plugs in, but is it compatible? Let's find out. Oh, we didn't get a keyboard error. So if this keyboard works fine, then we know it's not the motherboard, it's the keyboard. And well, even though a Model F keyboard cost as much as an entire IBM PC, well, it's something. I've heard of the ROM chips going bad. I don't know if that's what's going on here, but there's a ROM chip inside the keyboard itself. That could be the problem. I'd hate it to be that, but at least that's it's an answer to the problem that we're trying to solve. So let's see how this works. I have a spare hard drive for this, now that I'm parting out my Vendex. And I've got a floppy drive coming on the way, so I traded a few things for. So this keyboard works. All right, so here we go. This could be it. This could be the solution. All right, Oregon Trail. We need to get some Oregon Trail action going on here. I want to have some fun with this machine. I want to put a sound card in it. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I do have the AST 6-pack Plus in here, which has a dead battery, so we need to deal with that. But let's see. Actually, this keyboard's a lot quieter. Oh wait, games. Trail. I'm going to be putting Windows 1.0 on this. That's the plan. I like this keyboard. I may just keep this keyboard because it really has a nice typing feel. If this thing doesn't malfunction again, then we know we're barking up the right tree with it being a bad keyboard. So that'll be exciting. Although, again, I don't want to have to pay for a Model F. They are... Oh, shit. Maybe we've got a bad floppy drive. Yeah. This floppy drive has been acting up a lot. So I have another one coming. Alright, but here's the thing. Watch this. So we'll take a cleaning disc and we'll put some alcohol on it. Put some cleaning fluid on there. This trick has worked more than once on a variety of machines. My theory is what's happening is the magnetic media is actually coming off the disc somehow and contaminating the head on some discs, some more deteriorated ones. Okay, let's try this again. Which disc did I have? One of two? There's no way this disc is bad. It's just... No, it's bad. Try. Oh, fuck it. Alright. This is the kind of stuff that drives me crazy because I'm just trying to solve a problem here. And then another problem crops up. And it's just so frustrating. This is the part of vintage computer collecting that it drives me crazy because there are ways around this. You know, we could do a we could just cut out the floppy drive and we could actually just cut out the hard drive. replace it with a an IDE interface. Come on. I refuse to believe that that disk is bad. Here, I'm going to prove it to you. Okay, we're going to light up the Windows 98 PC, and we're going to copy the contents of this disk onto that. So I'm copying disk number 2 right now. We'll get that done. If I have to remake disk 1, I can handle that. It's not a big deal. So one of the issues that I'm constantly hitting up against is I'm kind of a purist. See, that disk worked fine. I'm kind of a purist in the way that I handle my collection, okay? I don't like doing, I don't like some of the modern solutions, and that is replacing this beautiful mechanical hard drive and this really nice floppy drive with, you know, a fake floppy simulator and a fake hard drive emulator. I don't like doing that because part of what I am into is preserving the machine in the state that it was when it was built, or at least something period correct, something as close to that as I can get. And I contradict myself all the time in saying that I also plan on installing a newly manufactured 8-bit sound card, because why not? So what I'm running up against is I'm having a hard time finding media that can actually hold up to its, you know, to its purpose. These discs were new old stock when I opened them. In fact, I still have a whole pack right here. They were brand new discs. And for the most part, when I first opened them and used them, they worked flawlessly. So I'm not sure if it's my floppy drive being super picky, and that does happen. Or, you know, if there's something else going on, like the discs are rotting. So let's do this. Let's try another one. MD Turbo. This is a game called Turbo Champions, and it was one of my favorite games, by the way. Oh yeah, I think we solved our keyboard problem. But we will replace that Model F with another one. I'm going to try to find one that's in rough condition that might have a good board. Or just get a good look at... You know, there's a spring capacitor on there that could be bad too. I can't ignore that possibility either. In fact, maybe we'll look at that tonight. I might actually have a cap to replace it with. We'll test it and see. Okay, so Turbo Champions is... Hear that floppy drive though? The hub is off center. I've noticed it does that. One of the things that this floppy drive doesn't do correctly is it's not clamping down properly. So you get the knocking sound of the hub being off center. I've noticed that. So like I said, I've got a floppy drive on the way. I actually I have a connection to a guy who has a lot of extra parts. So yeah, he's going to help me out. I've got to remind him that I want that floppy drive. And it's going to be an IBM logo drive. It's not going to be a non... Again, trying to keep it original. I would like to put an original 10 meg drive in this, but I don't want a 10 meg drive. I just don't want that in here. It's too small. What I've got here is a 30 gig drive, or 30 megabyte drive. I got gigs, whatever. What's the game I put in here? Bowling. Oh yeah, this keyboard is slick. So we found our problem. Maybe it's a cable. Either a cable, it could be a cable, but more than likely it's going to be the, hold on. I got to show you this game. Oops. Look at this. 10th frame bowling. So we're going to get Windows on this very shortly. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. We'll see what happens. US Atlas. Oh, yes. 1.2 meg. Okay, can't use that. All right. Open bowling, please. This monitor has really vivid color. This game, the original Tandy version, has a musical interlude when you start the game. It's really loud and obnoxious. I actually had that copy originally, and I don't have it anymore. There you go. Look at that. I'm like Big Lebowski. Alright. So, this game does not have an exit strategy. Oh, yes, it does. It does. Exit to DOS. There we go. Okay. Now, let's take a look at our Oregon Trail disk and see if it went to hell for us. So, I have disk 1 of 2. And it won't go in the drive because why? Oh, there we go. So here we go. Alright. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to copy all the files off. I already have a copy of Oregon Trail on the desktop. Here we go. I'm going to call that Oregon D1. We're going to try to copy all the files that we need into here. Yep, it went. Yep, it already went further. It was OTCGA was the file that I think was giving it a hard time. Okay, copied. So here's the next thing I'm going to do. We're going to format this disk, and we're going to copy the files back. We're going to see if it has any bad clusters. So let's do that. Do a full erase at 360K. Here we go. This is my XT IDE adapter. I'm contemplating putting it in, although I'm not sure why. I don't have a pressing need to do that. So I'm going to put that aside for now. I don't know. I bought this at VCF. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I haven't really thought that far ahead. So let's see if it comes up with any bad clusters, and then we're going to copy everything back onto it and see what happens. Here we go. No bad clusters. It's a clean format. So then we're going to go and copy Oregon D1 back to the floppy disk. And the machine crashed. Disk write error. You know? Oh my god. Oh my god. I just can't anymore. I can't. Oh boy. Don't know why. Let's do this in DOS. Okay, enough. Reset. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this in DOS. Okay? First, I'm gonna format that disk one more time. God, this machine. This machine does need a rebuild. It's got all kinds of problems, but I'm actually going to be building another 486 desktop, so that might be the one I use with all the retro stuff, shuffling files and whatnot. It'll be a Windows, I'm thinking about Windows 3.1, 486 desktop. Don't know where I'm going to put it. I don't have room for it, but I'm going to build it. They say build it and they will come, so we'll see how that goes. But this is the deal. I mean, you can certainly bypass all of what I'm doing just by using compact flash cards, and you know, that's entirely up to you. This is how I choose to enjoy and get frustrated with vintage tech, because it's fun for me, I guess. I somehow find this fun. Maybe I just hate myself. I don't know. Either way, it's exciting, you know. You never know what's going to work and what's not. But my goal at the end of this project was to have a good, fully functional, restored, original IBM PC or XT. Prefer the XT. The XT is just a better machine. But that I can enjoy some of my old games, and I don't know, just to have. I mean, you know, why does anybody really do this? It's not because, you know, these are superior machines by any stretch. So we're going to format that disk one more time. I don't know why I'm getting these errors. It's really pissing me off. You know what? Hold the phone. Is it the right format? Let's see. 5¼ inch. 360. Yeah, no, that's the right format. So we're going to just... Well, hold on. Hold on. It seems to be having a problem around that same file that we were having an issue on the XT. Maybe there's nothing wrong with my hardware at all. Maybe those files are legitimately corrupt. The devil, you say? Wow, it's... Oh, yeah, you can't multitask in Windows 98, can you? Alright, I'm going to put this in a place that's easier to get to from DOS. Oh, I can't just... Oh, yeah, Windows 98, right. Can't walk and chew gum. I've been spoiled with Mac OS. The next thing I'm going to do, once we get Oregon on there, we're going to pull that keyboard back apart, and we're going to check that there's only one electrolytic capacitor in there. We're going to check it. I'm on a war hunt for capacitors these days. They seem to be causing so many problems in my life. And my goal here, let's see, we're going to just throw it there. Drive C, Oregon, disk 1. Okay. And I'm gonna, yeah, okay. So we'll exit to DOS. I have a sore throat. I think I'm getting sick. Coming down with something. Okay. Okay. Alright. Drive B. Is it present? Is it readable? DIR should be empty. Yep, good. Drive C. Port back, CD. CD. There we go. Alright. Oh, you bastard. DIR. Oregon is gonna be... Where's Oregon? Ah, there we go. I'm very rusty in DOS. Please bear with me. I am rusty. Okay. Files are all there. Alright. Copy C to A. B. Oops, I missed a space. Here we go. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. if we start to see a problem here, right about now, then we know the issue isn't the floppy drive. We know it's something else. Here we go. Come on. This is right about where it failed last time. This is where the blue screen, oh, it copied, okay. So we've just recopied all those files to this disk. Let's put them back on the IBM and see what's gonna happen. Okay. All right, are we ready? So, am I in games? I'm in games. Go. Okay, this is where it failed last time. Oh, I think we solved our problem, guys. We didn't make it this far last time. I think it failed at Oregon Exit. There it goes. Okay. All right. All right. What's the executable on this one? OTCGA. It's going to be under Oregon. That actually worked. Look at this. This is what this logo looks like in CGA. Isn't it crappy? This should be green. It's actually blue. But on camera, it almost looks green. CGA was pretty bad. Look at this. We got functioning Oregon. Okay. All right. We don't need to exit it out or anything. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this keyboard apart. Okay. There is a single electrolytic cap. It's an old Sprague metal cap. Now, these are old news. Hold on. There we go. Now, these old metal Sprague caps, these are antiques. And I don't believe they have a very high failure rate, but you got to think, I mean, you got to just think, what could be causing our problem? Let's try to, and this is my method of troubleshooting, okay? This is the method that I use. Everybody's got their own way. But I go with the easiest and the cheapest, most likeliest problem first. If there's a known problem with whatever it is I'm working on, if there's a known issue, and other techs are saying, yeah, look at this or that or whatever, I'm going to go that route because somebody's already done the research. They've figured it out. Why am I going to waste any more of my own time trying to solve a problem that you know, has already been figured? Now, in this case, there really doesn't seem to be any one problem. The most common issue with these keyboards, these Model Fs, is improper reassembly. And that's going to manifest itself fairly obviously and fairly quickly. Okay, so we have two caps. 1, 2. I don't know what their values are. Let me just pull this cable out. I don't know what they are. So let's take a look. Okay. It just rests in here. Let's take the frame out of the mix. So the problem with reassembly is these are they're very tricky to do. Getting all of the switch. This uses a like a buckle spring type switch. Getting all of the flappers, the contacts, getting the rockers, whatever you want to call them, getting them all positioned correctly, and then reassembling. It takes 4 hands to do it, and Yeah, I'm not as talented as I should be. Okay. So I'm going to take a look at a couple of things. I'm going to pull these caps out. Now, I don't see the value printed on them. 566 DC. All right, let's. Are they polarized? There's two of them. So what I was thinking, either there's I was thinking that it might be the buffer on the machine end on the motherboard, but it could also be any one of these. There's actually another cap here. 8449. All right, this one's clearly labeled. I'm going to mark the board as to which end is positive. I believe it's going to be this end here, plus. And then on the other two, I don't see markings. So I'm going to put a dot and a dot, a dot and a dot. Okay. Heat up my desoldering tool. While that's heating up, we're going to take a look at our solder joints. It's possible that some of them could have been flexed into oblivion. So let's take a look at that. So far, so good. It's almost manifesting itself like a random short. Just a random short circuit. And so we know what the problem isn't. It's not the motherboard. The motherboard's not the problem. So that is half the battle. I see a random piece of solder here, but that's new. You know what I do see, though? I see a screw that's actually a ground screw. It appears to be kind of loose. Now, a loose ground... okay. A loose ground could cause this issue. For sure. Okay. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with this cap over here. Pull that out, see what it is, and we'll get a reading on it and see what it's actually rating itself. Okay, these are good caps. They don't usually, again, they don't usually have a very high failure rate. 56.6 DC. Is that 56 microfarad? 6 volts? I don't know. Well, let's see what our component tester says. Should be able to look these up. Actually, I could probably find a list of caps that these keyboards use. But this is an electrolytic for sure. 52. So I'd say that's pretty well within spec. The spec is 10% plus or minus. So 52 microfarad would be, that would be a good part. Okay, so we'll put it back in. I don't have anything like that. I have 22 microfarad surface mounts, and I've got 10 volt 47s. So it's going to go back where it belongs. So we're gonna move along. So it's not that, pretty clearly. And I did mark the polarity, of course. There's a plus sign on this end. All right, I'll put it back. On the Model F keyboards, the controller part of the keyboard is actually one with the main keyboard. There is no separate controller board that can be replaced. It's all done at the component level at that point. Come on, you bastard. Get in there. lot of my viewers seem to have a hard time with me and what I do here. I've noticed that. They immediately knee-jerk and say, you need to put a solid state in it, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. And a lot of it is just stuff that's completely unnecessary, and it counters what I am all about. You know what I mean? Like, some people would be perfectly fine with, with a keyboard that says Vendex on it, you know. But the point isn't to have an XT, okay? I have XTs, like XT class machines. I have my Tandy, for example. I don't need this machine. So I'm more or less trying to preserve an original IBM XT. That's what I'm doing. You know, if the goal was to have a computer that could play vintage games, well, shit. Have you seen my office? And my other office? You know, I'm covered. The goal is to have an original IBM XT. And you know what actually draws me to some of these vintage machines is actually how they were used historically. They were often found. I'm going to resolder the entire connector here. Just bear with me on this. This whole connector, it has some pretty shady looking solder joints, and I want to redo them. I'm a hammer, and everything is a nail. Yeah. So anyway, as I was saying, you know, the IBM PC has been well represented in the 1980s pop culture. You know, the most iconic movies and TV shows, like Alf, for example. There's an IBM XT in the garage when Alf crashes into it. You know, so that to me, being able to own one of these is kind of a privilege, because it is a fairly famous machine in its own way, or its own right. All right, so that cap turned out to be pretty good. I don't like the fact that this board appears to be warped. That scares me a little bit, but nothing's broken. No broken joints or anything. I am wondering, this thing was used with a PS2 converter. No, a USB converter, actually. And that kind of scares the crap out of me, because you never know whether it was hit with voltage that it shouldn't have been hit with at some point in its life, in the wrong spots, you know. Well, anyway, we're going to check this cap. I don't expect it to be bad, but it's worth a shot. But like I said, if the goal was to just have a vintage computer that could play old games, dude, I have so many better machines that can do that. I have a brand new Mac Mini that I could be doing that with, and just use the DOS emulator in the browser, and that's all I ever really would need, right? But that's not what the goal is. The goal is to preserve history. This is history. This is a real historical piece of equipment. They're not rare, but no, these are not rare. If you're trying to collect a vintage, if you're getting into vintage computer collecting, you could find much rarer. The IBM PC and the Apple II are ubiquitous. 22 microfarad at 0.28 ohms. So good ESR. And its stated capacitance is 22 microfarad. Look at that. Again, plus or minus 10%. So this is a good cap. No cap. This is a good cap. No cap, y'all. For shizzle. I just love making fun of youth pop culture languages. Oh, man. You know you're getting old when you go into a convenience store and there's like two, like, teenagers or 20-something, like early 20s maybe, and they're talking and you can't understand a goddamn word they're saying. And you know they're speaking, like, English-ish. You know, they're not speaking, you know, a foreign language like, you know, French or Spanish or anything like that. They're speaking English, but it's all in, like, slang and lingo that I do not understand. When I was a kid, back in my day, you know, the classic expression was classic. Like, hey, that's classic. You know, It's a different time. You just had to be there. You had to be there. Yeah. I am of the generation that saw the Twin Towers fall in school as it was happening live. That whole day was ruined. Well, more than the day. But no, an entire day we were just shell-shocked. I remember that. That's what my generation went through. Your generation, you young kids, you just won't ever be able to own property. And that's going to be our fault somehow. So, hope you like homelessness. Oh, that was so mean. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. Hope you like renting for life. If you can afford to do that. Yes, generational warfare. Okay, I'm not even going to bother with the next one. These caps are fine. This is not the tree I should be barking down. Barking down? No, I'm barking down. What the hell? I can't even talk. Jesus. All right. So that cap is fine. Actually, it's better than fine. These are hard to get in. Why is that? It's the way they're made, huh? So what is the problem here? I don't want to crack this keyboard open if I don't have to, because it is a bear. These are a bear to get apart. One of these is a programmable. This one right here, this guy right here, this is a programmable EEPROM, I believe. Well, all EEPROMs are programmable, but you get the point. I have heard of people replacing these. I don't think that's necessary, but I don't know. It's almost like there's a short circuit somewhere. That's what it's acting like. Like there's just a short circuit, and I just have to find it. Yeah, maybe. So when that is installed in the keyboard, it doesn't... Okay. Either a short circuit or a ground that's causing some weirdness. But I don't know what that could be. I don't know. When I bought the keyboard, it had a stuck spacebar, if I recall. The spacebar was stuck. That reminds me, where do astronauts drink? Oh, yeah. Dad joke. And I'm not even a dad. Thank God. I couldn't be a father to these kids today. Oh, my God. Oh, boy. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and resolder the rest of the connector. Like I said, there were some sketchy looking solder joints that I wanted to address. So we're just gonna go ahead and take care of that right now. I don't like the way this ground screw looks. I'm gonna actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do something about that. I am actually going to solder that ground screw to the ground pad that it's attached to, just in case there's some corrosion or anything awry underneath. Hold on, hold the phone. Okay, that may have been the problem. That ground screw was very loose. Now that screw is critical. It grounds the control board to the chassis. Now, this is a capacitive keyboard. Any ground problems, any ground issues will cause problems. Very serious ones. It is possible that was the problem this whole time. So we checked our caps, we checked our solder joints on the main harness connector, which were, again, they were kind of sketchy looking. And then I think we found a possible grounding problem. This screw is important, just so you know. Every screw is important. This one right here. There you go, that guy. It wasn't even in frame. This screw right here was loose. So I tightened it up, and we're gonna solder that screw in place to give it the best chance of a good, nice ground connection. That's what we're gonna do here. And there we are. Without a good ground, a stable, steady, solid ground, you're going to have a bad time. And this screw won't take the solder. It's got a coating on it, like a zinc coating. Plating. CAD plating, maybe? Oh, there we go. Okay. Now that, my friends, we're getting somewhere. Get that screw nice and hot so it will take to the solder. There we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, I could frame it and hang it in a gallery. All right. Watch for bad grounds. We have to let this cool off before we can let this pad down. Otherwise, it will just, you know, melt. I don't want that. Everything else looks good. Still hot? Does it touch? No, because the keyboard acts as a giant heat sink. Lovely. All right. So let's put this back together and then we'll try it again. One thing I want to point out is in this connector, okay, the female end of this connector. So you got your pins, and then this plug is a female plug. So what I found is it feels like these pins are loose. If you wiggle them around, they kind of move around a little bit. Well, that's normal. Those pins have tiny gold-plated fingers that slide onto the pins, and they're very small and they're very fragile. So if you find loose pins, don't go ham-fisting it together. You just understand how it's constructed and you'll be fine. The reason the board is flexed is because of that right there. So it's probably been that way forever, and we just changed that. Okay, let's put the cover on. Okay, so here's where we're at. It booted up fine, no keyboard errors. Of course, we've seen that before. So let's see. CD. Well, this looks promising. I think we solved the problem. You know, this machine is more like a whack-a-mole game than an actual game of whack-a-mole. And that's probably what I'm going to title this video. Playing whack-a-mole with an IBM XT. Seriously, I don't think I've ever had a computer that was so problematic before. This one really does... Up. Data errors. More data errors. Oh, it made it through. Made it through that one. Retry. Retry. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to abort it. Alright, just like we did last time. Now this disk was written on a compact floppy drive. Not that it matters, but I'm going to go ahead and we're going to copy the files, dump them onto the MD strike, copy B, C colon. We're doing that on the old Pentium 266 Windows 98 machine. Let's see how far it goes. Still going. Okay. Now, here's the kicker. Alright, so we got our files copied. Now I'm going to format the disk in on the IBM drive. So, format A. Go back to root drive. I think we fixed the keyboard, guys. So far, so good. It's never made it this far. without a hiccup. Oh. I need to set path on DOS. There we go. Here we go. I'll format the disk. I got disks in my car I gotta grab. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, our disk is all formatted. See how that goes. So yeah, this machine needs work. I'm just gonna format the damn drive. Yeah, it's had better days. I don't think I formatted this machine since sometime around like maybe 2015. I've had it quite a while. Can I go 2 seconds without repairing something? Tell you what I'm talking about. I just got this water bottle at a conference. It was just a tech conference, and guess what? This screw is loose. Still loose. No. All right. Okay, here we go. So this will be the second disc that we've kind of dumped and all right, here we go. Am I in the same right? Yeah. Okay, I'm in the right. No, I'm in the wrong directory. Okay. This thing get kind of warm, maybe a little bit. Okay. CD games. What? Oh, I'm in the DOS directory. DOS 3.3 doesn't tell you what directory you're in. There we go. Ooh, shit. I'm getting tired. Keyboard's working fine, though. So far, this keyboard's been pretty good. So I think I might have been onto something. A general failure of... Retry. Abort. Alright. Disc doesn't show any damage at all. Maybe a little scratch. Alright. Why don't we try to format it in DOS on the other machine? Well, what do you know? No bueno. And there you have it. So I think the drive is genuinely getting weak, and it's just not performing. But the keyboard seems to be working great. No issues. We'll see how that other floppy drive works when it comes in this week. Until then, have a great day. So I put this machine back. Actually ordered the remaining capacitors for the monitor. Since I was placing a big order anyway, save shipping that way. So, like I said, I will be doing a full recap on this monitor to finish the job. Don't have to, but I might as well. It just feels good. Most of the caps that I've been buying, I've looked through my orders, and a lot of them have been 20% tolerance, which is well within range. They should be fine. But we're refreshing everything. I don't expect any difference in performance or quality, and I don't expect that. But I just love how this came out. It just looks gorgeous. And I've pretty much confirmed that our keyboard is good. Again, I tested it out again today, and it has had no issues. So I think that ground was the problem. That's a hallelujah moment. Thirdly, the floppy drive is bad. Just getting that out of the way. That drive is no damn good. There is no excuse for its inability to read so many floppy disks. There is something wrong with the drive. I have checked electrolytics, and they are fine. I replaced them anyway, but it didn't make a damn difference. Could be an alignment problem. It could be a lot of things. But that drive is bad, and I do have another one coming for it. So I think for now that's going to wrap us up. I am going to put Windows 2.03 in this, so we will look at that later. And on another note, the compact portable is gone. I'll talk about that. It was sitting right by that bike over there. Now it's gone. The compact portable is a computer that I have had in my possession since 2018, or possibly even sooner than that. I think I got it in 2017. The compact portable belonged to an old friend of mine who has gone off to do bigger and better things. He is doing rocketry and satellite design. He's a very smart person. He has decided not to come back to this area, and he gave away a couple of his vintage computer items to me. And that compact portable was one of them. I did restore that compact, and it was the first computer that I ever worked on in this office. However, that aside, it was not enough for me to say I need to keep it in my life. It's a very awkward, bulky computer with a tiny screen, limited functionality for what I want to use it for. So ultimately, it had to go. And this IBM is the spirit successor to that compact. I can do more with this. I can have more fun with it. It's got a nice big color screen. I love this machine. I really do. The compact went up on Facebook Marketplace, and the only person to respond with a serious offer was a gentleman from, I keep wanting to say Alberta, Canada. He was actually from Montreal. A little back and forth. I couldn't believe he was serious, but he was. He actually, he had to go through hoops to get this machine. He had to not only renew his passport, but he had to rent a car. He didn't want to pay to ship the device, and I don't blame him. I don't want to ship it either. In fact, that was my rule. I was like, I'm not shipping this because it will end up broken, and there'll be a lot of very sad people in the midst. So he bought the machine. He drove here all the way from Canada, about an 8-hour, 9-hour round trip, which isn't too bad, actually. But, I mean, I have done similar things, but I've never crossed international borders. But he did come when he said he was going to come with cash, and he was very happy to take it back to Canada with him. So it's going to live out its life in the Great White North. Apparently, he's been looking for a compact portable for a very long time. I hope that he has fun with it, whatever that may entail. I hope he enjoys it. So the compact is gone. And we have a 486 build coming up. And it's that guy right there. Oh, I cannot wait to do this build. This PC is going to be so nice when I'm done with it. I actually, well, we'll talk about that later in another video. So I'll catch you guys later. Once we get that new floppy drive in here, we'll hopefully get some better results. I don't really have the necessary diagnostic equipment to fix a floppy drive like this. I'm sure it's fixable. I won't be throwing it away. But again, probably an alignment issue. It's probably just off by a smidge. Who knows? I mean, this machine's been through a lot, you know, in the past 40 years. 40 years. So until then, guys, have a good one.